I wasn't the first person to stumble upon him and think he was interesting and intriguing and that his story was powerful. That's all I got for you. And I sat down and I did this interview with him, and it was, I'd never heard anybody speak in the way that he did. Like he was a 17-year-old kid who was sitting in front of me with such an incredible positive outlook, such a reflective worldview. He had been living in the skate park for 7 years. He had no education, really good skateboarder, a lot of opportunity, a lot of people, a lot of international interest in him. So the big question was like, how does he get off the streets? Film is what I know, film is my tool. So it's like, obviously I was sort of weighing up like, what could I do? How could I kind of shine a light on him and then see if I could, see what opportunities we could create with that. I made that first video and I put it online and it went viral and people loved him. There was such a public response to him. There was some, like I said, some intangible barrier between helping him and, then him taking the reins and helping himself.
Everyone needs a little bit of loving sometimes, just to get through anything, like any situation you're in, You just have to have someone that can give you a little push, and get you through it.
It wasn't difficult getting interest. I always fell off at one point where everybody was like, so what's going to happen in the film? Is there going to be this big event that he wins? Like, how's the success story going to end? And it was such an open-ended question. It wasn't, it's life. And it wasn't about him doing one thing or another. It was just about being a part of this young person's life and seeing the world and understanding it through his eyes and trying to understand like what he was working with and what he was up against. It was incredibly disappointing initially when some of the potential funders that were almost dead set on funding the film, delayed. And I kept saying to them, guys, it's not there's a young person and his life is moving. Of course, I was still sort of chipping away at the film and I was always documenting his life as it was unfolding. But at some point I had to sort of bite the bullet and say, this film has to get made in some way, shape or form. I financed a lot of it myself and then opted to go the crowdfunding route. And I knew that would be successful because of the success of that first video that I put out with him. I'm really glad that it happened independently because it was making the film that I really felt like he deserved. When we first moved to America and we were first sort of figuring things out, it was a big shock to both of our systems. We both, suddenly I had this person that I felt responsible for and was trying to help, and he felt like he owed me something as well, and there was a bit of a challenging dynamic to start. Being a filmmaker, living with your subject is not easy because you constantly have this little voice in your head which is like, should I shoot this? Should I shoot this? Should I have a camera in my hand? So I had to find a balance inside where sometimes he needed a friend, he did not need a camera in his face.
It's like sometimes I can't believe that it's me, but I know that it is. I'm just like, wait, oh shit, like it's me. It's like growing on me now. I feel a little more comfortable every time watching it, like a little more proud. I'm like accepting that, okay, this is my story. It's like out to the world now.
I saw myself as this sort of really objective, observational filmmaker who was able to let things unfold in front of me, but I grew to love him. He became a friend, he became like a son, he became so much. At times it was challenging because I knew the truth would be more powerful than me sort of smoothing it over and hiding all the messy details.
At the time I didn't expect, where I was in my life, I didn't expect anything to change. I was just like, I'm probably gonna be like this for the rest of my life. And blessed me, things kind of unfolded in in an unexpected way really. I don't know, just a lot of good and positive things. So yeah, it's been a really good, life-changing experience, you could say that.
Sometimes he's felt like, well, maybe I shouldn't be bothering with you with this stuff, maybe I'm too much of a burden, on you because you've taken so much of this on. And I've said to him, there is nothing that I've done in my life that has been more enriching than being a part of your life.